Hello and welcome back to the Reapers. So we're in our beloved Viggen today and we're looking at our second method of bombing. So we've already covered low-level strip bombing, which is pretty effective, but now we're looking at dive bombing, and we're going to be using slick bombs for this rather than retarded bomb. So why would you rather use dive bombing than strip bombing? Well, maybe because of the terrain, maybe because of the ground to air threat, whatever. For some reason, there may be a reason why you want to do dive bombing. Now, it's a bit of a pig to set up, but it's actually incredibly effective and really satisfying. Right, let's get going. So we've got a map here. We've got, here we are, 15 kilometers to miles to the north. We've got some ground targets. We've got some waypoints set up just for ease of tutorial. We've got waypoint 1 set up there, and we've got waypoint 2 set up there on the target. What we're going to do is we're going to set it up so that we travel to waypoint 1. Then we're not going to go to waypoint 2. What we're going to do is put in a pop-up point. So this is a point that will allow us to do a bombing approach, and we'll set that as an azimuth from waypoint 2 and a distance from waypoint 2. And just to make everything super simple, we're going to put the pop-up point here, about 7 or 8 kilometers south of the target. So waypoint 1, pop-up point, then we're going to pop up and dive bomb on the target, and we'll talk about that then. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all, we're going to arm our bombs up. They are going to be the slick M71 bombs, not the retarded bombs, because dive bombing, this is what we need to use. So let's arm them up. Okay, already got waypoint 1 and 2 set from the mission editor, so we're going to plug that in. 099, enter. Let's just get the waypoints 1 and 2 loaded from the mission editor. Lovely. And we can say that we've got waypoint 1 12 clicks away, waypoint 2 17 clicks away. Okay, back to LS. Right, the next thing we want to do is make a waypoint 2 an attack point or a mark point. So that is where the target is. We're going to go to tactical in 9 Bravo 2, out, back to our standard position, and now we can see that waypoint 2 is a mark point or an attack point. Okay, back to LS where we are at the airport. The next thing we want to do is put our pop-up point in, so we're going to go to tactical again, input, and what we're going to do is we're going to put in the azimuth from the target that we want to attack from. So we're coming from the south here, and our azimuth we're going to put in is 0 up there. So that basically means we're attacking in this direction. If we put 180 in for the azimuth, then it would mean that we're attacking for that direction. If it was 090 for the azimuth, we'd be attacking in that direction, and so on. And then we're going to do the distance of, let's say, 8 kilometers. So we've got it tactical here. We are going to type in 000, so our bearing is 0, saying that we're attacking from the south, and then we're going to put our distance of 080, and we're going to confirm that with Bravo 2. So that's said that we want a pop-up point 8 kilometers south of the target, and we'll follow that. Okay, so that is that. Turn that off to there. And if we click Bravo 2 now, we can see that we've got a U. So before it takes us to the target waypoint, it'll take us to U, our pop-up point. Okay, back to standard. Just turn the nav off for now so I don't corrupt the INS. Next, we're going to turn off moving target ranging. Now, I don't fully understand what this is. I just got this from another tutorial, but it's something we have to do apparently with static targets. So we're going to go to tactical again. Whoops, input 221, and we're going to enter this time, LS. Okay. Back to our default position. Okay, now let's look at our dash. We want low level mode because we're going to be doing low level bombing, so we need that switch there. Our QFE needs to be set. Now we can cheat it a little bit here. We can keep our finger on K, and we can see the waypoint 2 is at our target, and the QFE of our target is 1009.7. If you didn't have that and you needed to calculate the QFE, then I have a separate video on different methods of calculating the QFE. So let me try and get this right. So 009.7, I think that's about right. You need to set that so the bombs know the altitude, the elevation of the target. So now we need to set the bombs up. So we're going to go here. We want DYK. I don't know what that stands for, but that is dive bombing mode basically. So DYK there. and our separation of our bombs. We want 10 meters between each bomb. Looking at the targets, that seems the best. They're quite clumped together. Okay, and we're all good to give this a try. So, nav mode on, gun the burners, and off we go. Right, so we're very helpfully taken off on the wrong runway, so we've got to do a 180 to get to Bravo 1, our first waypoint. Okay, we're now heading towards waypoint 1 as per the compass throws, the ADI and the HUD. Distance is 13 kilometers and closing. Burners back on. So for this first leg of the journey, we're going to keep super low as per the Viggen imperative. And at the last minute, as of the attack waypoint, the pop-up waypoint, we will then rise for the dive bomb. And waypoint 1 hit. Now you see, once waypoint 1 is hit, we won't go to Bravo 2 automatically. We next go to U2, which is our pop-up point. So it's going to take us, the navigation system will take us to our pop-up point, and we'll stay low until we get there. There we go. Right, we've got a few kilometers to build up some speed now. 17 kilometers and closing. And we know once we get to U2, it will then switch us to B2, our attack point, at which point we know we've got 8 kilometers due north to travel until we hit the target. Okay, we just hit U2, and you see it's now changed to M2, so we've now hit our pop-up point, and we're now moving on to the target point M2. We know it's due north by 8 kilometers, so now we're going to do our pop-up and attack. What we should say, just the usual controls we'll be using to do the actual attack. Trigger safety hold we'll be holding before we drop the trigger. The trigger will be pulling there at the same time as the safety hold, and we'll be keeping on our finger on the trigger until all bombs are released, at which point there's red light here underneath the overlay that we can see there. Okay, so let's go. Burners on, get ourselves in the right azimuth. Okay, the next thing we want to do is switch from nav mode here to attack mode A and F, so let's get that done. And now we're going to do our pull-up. Going to pull up almost vertical, as much height as we can in little time. Careful not to skew your angle. Roll over. Looking for the target. There it is. And we're going to dive now. I've had a couple of goes, and I found that diving between about 20 and 30 degrees seems to be the best. If you dive steeper, you can do it, but what you tend to do is lose the symbology off the bottom of the HUD, even if you put the HUD glass down. So let's carry on the attack. We've got the circle there. That's our waypoint, basically, on our A and F mode. You can see it's slightly away from the target. That's probably because I was sat on the runway for too long and my INS has drifted slightly. Either way, we can see the target here, so we can essentially ignore the circle here and attack the target directly. What we're going to do is put our dot there onto that target there, basically in the middle. And then we're going to have a ranging bar at the bottom, as we'll see here, which will cue when to fire. So let me just get aligned a little bit better. Okay, that's a little bit better. Holding safety release now. And we can see that we've got range bar information. So this is our standard Viggen range bar here. As this horizontal bar moves in towards these outer markers here and starts flashing, that is our cue to release. There is our altitude in meters. So let's put this pipper on those guys and try and bomb them. Stand by. Okay, we've got the cue release, and now. I was a bit off to the side there. We'll just see how that goes. Oh, okay, I missed them. You saw my approach was a little bit, was a bit naff there, and I just overshot and to the left ever so slightly. I clipped a few of them, which is okay, but that can be really accurate. On the times I tried before, I basically killed them all with the first strike. So if you're not talking, you can do that fairly easily. So that's how I do it. You can see my my last bomb cue releases there for releasing the trigger. Otherwise, it can be really very accurate. So go and try it and have some fun in dive bombing. Thank you very much, and see you later.